Hey everyone, welcome to the Chronic Couch. I'm Eric, and you may recall my mom from, when was that? The season premiere of season 2? Or was the season finale, the one we shot with Chris and his mom? But I forget. Anyways, Merry Christmas, Mom.
Happy holidays.
So, for those of you who may or may not know, I am Jewish. I was raised Jewish, and both of my parents are also Jewish. But over the past 5 years,
At least.
at least 5, whenever my brother got married to his wife, we started to incorporate Christmas. And I've had this thought, especially on my way here, that I just wonder what both of my papas would think. Both of them being super religious, not super religious, but somewhat religious.
Traditional.
Traditional.
Very traditional.
With Judaism. I mean, what do you think they would think, starting with your dad?
I think my father would have embraced being together as a family. And I think as he got older, he realized it wasn't just about the religion, but it was more about the tradition. And we continue to carry on the traditions. We're just not overly religious. So I think that's what my dad would have thought.
But do you think, because now we sit around by the Christmas tree.
But there's a Jewish star on top of the tree.
Okay, so we've modernized Christmas by putting a Jewish star on the top of a tree.
And we still light the menorah.
And then what do you think Papa Howard would think? My dad's dad, who I think was he was very involved at the synagogue.
I think he would have embraced family. And I think he would have been very accepting, as was Grandma Nina.
Okay,
very accepting of everyone different, and just as long as you're together as a family.
Okay, why I wanted you to come on here is because all the 60 ladies, please stand up. My mom has been living with chronic pain, back and neck, for at least a decade, I would say. Both shoulders. But the back definitely started beforehand. So I just wanted to bring you on to help not just women, but men too, in their 60s. You're in an interesting stage in your life where you're retired, but you're, from an outsider, you're not really enjoying your retirement as it goes in a written book, as retirement's written out. You know, we think, you go to Florida, you lean back, you relax, but you're in and out of surgeries, you're going to physical therapy every day or weekly. So let's backtrack real quick just so we can paint the picture of how your body came to the position that it's in now. What was your relationship with sports growing up?
Well, I was a gymnast like you were, more acrobatics and tap and jazz. And I did that until probably I was 14-ish. But while I was doing all of that, I was in casts on both legs at one point. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I remember hobbling out of high school.
You broke your legs?
No, it was like just severe joint issues in both knees. And at the time, anyway, they were putting casts on. So I had a cast literally from the top of my leg all the way down to my ankle. And I remember hobbling around in the ice and snow, trying to get around that way. It was one leg, and then I had to do the other leg. I mean, for different, at different times. But that was awful. And then I'm double jointed. I think you are too, aren't you?
Not like
so
you.
I don't know if that's part of it, if that's what started the whole thing.
Okay, so from childhood to college graduation, before you started your 25 plus year career in
40
plus year career in
Healthcare.
healthcare. Did your body hurt? Because
I
growing up, I don't remember you ever
I
complaining.
think it started probably when you were a kid with the back. It started with the back, but I've always worked with adults in a hospital setting, patients who are quite dependent on the healthcare providers. So it started very early in my career having to move patients in the bed, out of the bed, into the chair, onto a bedside commode, reposition them if they were flopping over. It was every day, all day. There was never a time really that the patient would say, "Hey, let me help you," and like scoot up in the bed. That didn't happen very often. So that's when the back pain started, like really kicked in.
Plus, you're 4'11",
Plus, I'm short.
100
Yeah, I'm
pounds.
short, and you don't always get the help that you need.
Because some of your patients are big
Big. We
men.
had some bariatric men. Some were like 500 pounds. Not that I had to lift them up myself. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
But I had to be on the other side and help the other caregiver. So it was very challenging. And then probably 7 years ago, it's when I had my first injury in my shoulder that I noticed. And although we can't pinpoint it to me being in healthcare, I really suspect that's what happened. That was
Okay.
my left shoulder.
I know, speaking for me, sometimes people don't believe or want to believe the extreme pain that you're actually in unless you're going through it. I even say that some of my surgeons and doctors don't know what it's like. Sometimes it's better talking with someone who has been through it or sustained injuries or has lived with chronic pain. So, for any healthcare workers who are moving patients, lifting patients, do you have any tips that could help them um, maybe get ahead or keep their body intact? Because I don't think when people think of healthcare, they're not thinking of the manual labor that goes into it.
No, but I think back injury is the number one injury in healthcare workers, if I remember correctly. We are required to take a body mechanics course every year, but as technology has progressed, we didn't have to practice on anyone. It was more of a click test. So you watch the body mechanics, like bending your knees and holding things close to your body, that sort of thing. But when push comes to shove, there wasn't a whole lot of quote practice of how to do it, hands on as the years progressed.
Okay.
So we had to just do it. And then with COVID, it was really hard to get people to help you. So you ended up either waiting with your patient and hoping you got help, or you just said, let me just try to get you up on my own. And that probably wasn't a good thing, but during COVID, we were doing the best that we could.
Okay. So two shoulder surgeries.
I had one 6 years ago, and unfortunately, I just found out recently that the bicep repair that I was supposed to have had wasn't successful. They call it a Popeye deformity, where the bicep isn't attached. And I kind of knew from the get-go that something wasn't right with this bicep because I kept saying, this hurts, this isn't moving, I don't feel like I can get the oomph that I need to get my arm up, that sort of thing. And unfortunately, the doctor didn't listen. Like you said, he just kept saying everything was fine, and it wasn't fine. And when I finally cut the cord with the doctor that I had, and went to another doctor, he basically validated how I was feeling. And not only did he tell me basically that the bicep was not connected, but also I had a tear in my rotator cuff on my right side, and also that I had my cartilage on my bone, and I had a lot of arthritis in there. So I had a pretty extensive surgery in September. So now I'm dealing with rehab on my right and kind of sneaking in some left-sided strengthening as well, because like I said, the left isn't working very well.
Okay, we have stepped off the hot set downstairs. We have moved up because my mom made a good point that we should show all of her little gadgets so you guys can see. You put this under your legs, it helps with your back. It helps relieve the stress and the impact that is on your back by lifting your legs up. We've got, what is this?
This is heat for my shoulder, because it seems to make I don't know, it just makes me feel better. We've got my 1 pound weights that I'm working on for my arms.
Yep, you heard her right. 1 pound. Okay.
Yeah, I got a long way to go. And then we've got these over here. I've got my little workout station. This is to help with my shoulder range of motion. These I'm supposed to do for 3 minutes at a time in different directions. Yeah, this is what it's all about here. And then don't peek in here.
Uh-oh.
This is my massage thing for my neck and back.
Yeah, I've used that. Wait, bring it out real quick.
It's kind of heavy, but it really does feel good.
Yeah, that's good. And it heats too, right? Maybe this one doesn't heat.
I don't think this one heats. I've got my bands in here and my straps for more exercises for my back and for my shoulder. And here's more stuff for I'm telling you, it's a workout facility here for.
And are you diligent in using this stuff?
Well, these I just got assigned in my exercise. He's so funny.
So
I just got assigned yesterday at PT, because I was doing them in PT, and now he said I'm good enough to do on my own.
okay.
These are resistance bands. One of them's really heavy. I'm at the very lowest, obviously, the 1 pound weights, but you got to start somewhere.
Okay, so heat, bands, I make her dance, and you don't know that song because this is for the 60 ladies.
The resistance.
Resistance. She does not ice, but I would add ice on there if you can.
I just get too cold with the ice. I do heat at PT though, actually.
And the weights.
The weights. Yeah.
There you have it. So for all the 60 ladies out there, I was watching this interview of Chelsea Handler. Mm-hmm. She has a messed up shoulder. She was saying, if you've done PRP on your shoulder, never do it again. Uh-huh. And if you're thinking about doing it, do not do it. What's your take on that? Because I know you've experienced.
I've had PRP twice, one in each shoulder.
And what is PRP?
Oh my gosh, plasma
replacement?
Something. Platelet? Yeah, platelet. Oh, platelet. I forget now.
They basically take your blood.
And then put it back in, and you hope that there's some regeneration in the joint. And
so you did both shoulders?
Yes.
And?
I don't think I saw any change and it's expensive, but because insurance doesn't cover it, probably for that very reason.
They don't have enough.
They say they don't have the statistics, but also you just wonder about the success rate. Now, interesting, the doctor I'm going to now has talked about me wants me to do PRP in here now, because he says there's a lot of data about the success rate with what is going on with my particular problem. I don't know. We haven't talked about it recently, but he did suggest it at the beginning.
Okay. So going back to the 60 ladies,
Why did she say not to do it? For the very reason it didn't work?
she said it made her shoulder more stuck. She kept saying
Oh,
her shoulder,
frozen
yes.
shoulder. And I've had frozen shoulder in both shoulders.
Yeah, it's been a kind of a crazy few years in this in the Sinsley household with surgeries
And I just had an epidural last week in my back.
and she also has a bad back, and she has not done the back surgeries like I have. And just a quick little update for me on it's been 4 years of the back, and I'm now getting to a place where I am seeking out more of the mental aspect, and trying to trick my mind about the pain. So stay tuned on that. Going back to the 60 ladies, what?
Well, the interesting thing about the 60 ladies, I have quite a few friends who are older than me, and they don't have some of these issues. They don't, and I can't say it's because they, the only thing that I have that they don't have is don't have a history of being in healthcare. And I don't know whether that has, I feel in my heart that these shoulders were attributed to the wear and tear on my body from being in healthcare. I don't know.
For sure, I think 40 years, working 6, 7 days a week, long hours on your feet, not getting the rest you need, all goes hand in hand with your body not being as strong and living in a place of comfort as one would hope,
I don't know that
especially for your retirement.
Yeah, I don't know that the training and education was there when I first went into the field. I think people thought, I don't know. I never learned anything about body mechanics, and I was in high heels all day. And it wasn't until probably the last 10, 15 years that we were allowed to wear sneakers, that they accepted more of a, like, this is hard on your body, you need to take care of yourself kind of thing. But before then, I can't say that body mechanics was enforced, or, yeah, I don't think it was like, you need to take care of your body.
Yeah, you need to take care of your body. So I would think for the newcomers in healthcare, who are either getting out of nursing school or what it be, my take is take care of your body, get some good sneakers, make sure you're stretching, make sure you're lifting your patients with
Correctly.
the awareness of what you're doing to your body, because I feel like your generation is you're probably just like, let's work. You're not really thinking about what's going to happen in 40 years on the back end of your career. So can you give me 3 things when you wake up, when you struggle with your sleep?
Yes.
I personally don't think you have any good tips for that, because you still have to fix that yourself. Because I'm working on that myself. Sleep is huge, but also I think there's something to be said about not putting huge emphasis on sleep, because when you think about it, or if it's all you hear growing up about sleep, it can have an impact. So we're gonna put sleep aside until next year. We'll recap on
A whole
that.
other issue.
I'll follow up on that. But how do you manage to get up every day and find happiness when you're in so much pain?
Well, I honestly really don't want to give into it, because that's giving up. And I feel like I'm too young and here, whatever, to give up and say, okay, I'm going to lay in the bed all day, which sometimes I do, not lay in the bed. I always get up. I always try to have a routine. I think that's
Routine.
some sort of routine, whether it's get up and I'm going to shower and I'm going to have my cup of coffee and I don't know, whatever it is, I try to have some structure and routine in my life. Because working from the time I was a young teen, or maybe even before teen, I've always worked. And then now not working, I had to find purpose in what I was doing every day. Whether it was, I do a little volunteer work, and it's not a lot, but I do some volunteer work. I play mahjong. I have some sort of purpose. I'm
Okay.
doing the HOA board. So I feel like you can't give up. You have to find something to keep your mind busy, but also try to not give into the physical stuff.
Okay. So routine, purpose, and perhaps finding things, hobbies that you enjoy and you love.
Right, that don't necessarily involve too physical of a, too much physical, reliance, I guess. But yes, stuff you enjoy.
Okay.
Then I've got the grandkids.
The polar opposites of me being in my early 30s and just, really getting into my career, and you're on the back end of all of that. And so I was just hoping, which you did, offer some advice to people in your similar boat and also to people like my age too. Purpose, routine,
Yeah, I was going to
the
say,
simple things
because
in life.
you could give in to laying in bed because you hurt,
Yeah.
and you make it a point of getting up in the morning and you go to work. Even though sometimes it is awful getting out of bed and getting into the car and driving for 45 minutes or an hour to get to work, you still do it. Otherwise, you'd be on the streets. But not only that, but it kind of keeps this going too.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it.
Oh, wow.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, it's a good day, right?
Yeah.
It's a good day.
All right. Bye, guys.